That's your float bowl, that controls your float level, yeah? So when that's fuel's coming into the carburetor, that goes up, and that tang there pushes on the needle, which is that bit there, which is absolutely bollocksed by the look of it. It's 1938 Hudson Terraplane, right-hand drive, Australian. I think it's an Australian body, I'm not sure. So they had them made all around the world. It's got that there, look. This is Ruskin body. It's a deluxe, not the super. Super had a bigger carburetor and stuff. Probably last ran in November '65. It's New South Wales. Had it firing yesterday, but not running.
And what have you been tasked to do?
Just get it running basically today. Just see it, then once it's running, we can see if the brakes work, the clutch works. Because you don't want to do a clutch on one of these. I've done one before, they're not good.
Okay.
They're cork, little round corks, but they're in an oil bath that's sealed to the flywheel, and then the thrust bearing's got another seal on it that goes in and out of a tube, and they're horrible to do. Holding water, it's got oil in it, so all we can do is rebuild the carb.
And what are the Hudsons like as cars?
I think they were quite good in their day. Yeah, I think they were quite good. Strange old engine, it only runs at like, I think it's 6 to 8 psi on the oil pressure.
As opposed to what?
30 psi on tick over normal.
Really?
Yeah. What it does, it's got in the block casting on the inside there's troughs cast into it. And it's low pressure to the bottom end of the crank,
yeah.
And then the oil flicks up into the troughs and then drains down onto the cam bearings and things like that. It's a real weird setup. It seems to work, but it is a really strange setup. So it's just a matter of washed it all out, cleaned it all out. It's just a matter of putting it all back together now and trying to find a link rod for the choke, which it didn't have. Right, it's 1/2. Should be the right setting for that.
Standard carb?
Standard car, yeah. Got a sort of new old stock one there, but it's automatic choke and slightly different, so we can't use that, which is unfortunate. That one's nice and free now. So, I'll nick the top off of that with a grinder and see if we can bodge that into there. Find a washer for that, I think.
Which part is that?
It's called an accelerator pump, so when you put your foot on the throttle, instead of just relying on the vacuum of the engine just to suck petrol in, it pumps petrol into the carburetor,
okay,
into the fuel mouth. Let's give it a little soak and a bit of juice. Too tight with the spring in, so let's take the spring out. See, all the modern ones are rubber, but this one's leather. Alright, so let's fill it up with some juice, see if it works. Well, that should squirt petrol out of that hole there, I think. Yeah? So that's working.
Okay.
Right, so the accelerator pump's working. I haven't got a clue what that one does. That's some sort of other pump. I haven't got a clue. Right, I think you've got to put that on first. So the next thing I've got to do, there should be a rod between there and there. Yeah, that's your throttle. And that's your choke. So when you pull the choke, it should have a rod from there to there, which just opens the throttle a little bit. Okay. So it increases the revs. You're increasing your mixture by shutting the choke valve. That makes it rich, yeah?
Yeah.
Because you're not getting any air in. So it's just running and sucking neat petrol into the engine. But you need the throttle butterfly to open a little bit to let it through. So there should be a link rod between there and there. So the magic box of crap and see what's in there. That's not a carter, is it? There's another carter there.
It's your collection of carburetors, is it?
Yeah, over the years, just you know, you never know what little bit you're going to get out of it, if you know what I mean. It's modern and old and God knows what in it. Well, there's no link bars on any of them, so might have to make one quickly. That's throttle fully shut. So we want a bit of metal to go from there to there. This doesn't matter if it's quite thin because it's only used under stress.
Okay.
You know, so you're not pushing on it, it's only pulling. We've got to put a slot in that. Let's just make sure the idle's right off.
What are you just checking there?
To make sure the butterfly's completely shut.
When
So otherwise I could make this and it would hold the throttle open,
Okay.
which you don't want to do. I mean, you're working with just a pile of old shit really, so so you can only do what you can do, you know. It doesn't look inherently like there's anything particularly wrong with it, you know, because I've changed a few parts. So okay, so that's throttle fully closed, yeah, so I know I'm not on that. And if I want to bring it up, that's not moving the choke at all, so I've left that much leeway there, yeah?
Yeah.
So when you pull the choke, that's fully closed. Pull that, see it opening the bottom one up? So that's giving it some throttle,
Yeah.
which is all it needs, just to open the valve up. So that's it. That can't come off of there because of the way the slot is. We put a little clip in there, look. So that goes on there, look. So that stops that falling off. So now that's our motion. That's all it needs, just that little bit to open the throttle up a little bit. So now, somehow, we'll put it back together. Go on. Okay. Again. Lighten it.
Next week on the workshop.
Two Harleys. Black one's a WLA, the red one is a WLC. And they're both owned by blokes called Dan, which is quite weird.